welcome to the Ron's podcast. I am the Ron. This would be episode 14, and hopefully this time I won't accidentally hit the stop button after I've gone like 6 minutes in and have to start all over. That's just me. But grab yourself a cup of coffee, find yourself a comfy seat, and let's chat because today we are diving into the world of Facebook. And oh no, I just hear me in buttons, man. I don't know what the deal is, but I pushed a button and I got rid of the post. Did anybody ever have that where they just malfunction the whole day? Like no matter what they do, their body is just on strike and you're malfunctioning. That would be me right now. When I got home from work and I happened to look on my phone, and this post from Autism Awareness page on Facebook, it popped up, and I looked at that, and I'm like, that's a good idea for a subject for a podcast, particularly because it's about butter noodles. It says, for autism, butter noodles equals safe. And I am going to read their post. And they also have a lot of other posts on here about other foods too, about being safe foods. But this does a really good job of explaining why we call these things safe food, why they are safe for us. And I know I touched on that at one other time about cereal being my safe food, and I didn't really explain it as well as this post will. So here we go. Buttered noodles aren't a phase. They aren't a habit to break, and they aren't something to be fixed. For many autistic people, foods like this are safe. Safe means predictable. Safe means familiar textures. Safe means no surprises when the world already feels overwhelming. Eating isn't just about nutrition. It's about regulation. It's about trust. It's about feeling calm enough to take the next bite. So when someone chooses butter noodles again, they are not being difficult. They are choosing comfort in a world that often asks too much. Safety comes first. Food can grow later. And part of the reason why I wanted to touch on this is because there are a lot of children who go through this where they have a safe food and they will not eat anything else. And I want parents and people who are dealing with children or caregivers and stuff like this to understand that it is not about them being spoiled. It's not about them being demanding of what they want. It's not about that. It's like it says, not about a habit that it has to be broken. It's a matter of being safe, and they already have a world around them that being autistic, you're already walking in a neurotypical world where you feel like, I'm just going to use this imagery, you already feel like an alien walking around in this world where you're expected to know all the customs and all the language and all the whatever of all the other people around you, and you don't understand it because you're from an entirely different world. And you already have that stress on you from trying to navigate this world that you're in. And food then becomes a friend. It becomes a safe place. I know for me, as a child, this is what caught my attention was buttered noodles, because I would not eat spaghetti with sauce on it. Nope. Not until I became an adult did I start eating spaghetti with sauce on it. But then it would have to be just plain sauce with no meat or anything on it, just sauce. Since I've met my husband, since we've been together 20 years plus years, it took me many, many years into our marriage before I would eat sauce with meat. But now I put all sorts of meat in it and stuff. So it's been a gradual thing. I've gradually become, that's gradually become my safe food. But as a child, it was most definitely butter noodles. um, and cereal. And cereal to this day is still my safe food. If, I mean, if I feel like I'm stressed or I'm overwhelmed or just not feeling right, I'm just feeling off, and the world is just too much for me. And I look at my pantry and I'm looking for food to eat. Just nothing feels safe. I'm looking for safe and comfort, and but yet that box of cereal up on that top shelf I reach for because it is safe. I like the texture. I like the sometimes I like the fact that it's liquidy, cereal with your milk, so you got your food and you got your liquid and stuff. Um, but it's like a warm, even though cereal's cold, it's like a warm hug, kind of. It's hard to explain. And it is just, it makes the world better. I don't know how else to explain it. And like for kids, it's just, it's an immense amount of help for them. And to have a parent or a caregiver get on them because, well, that's all you ever eat. You need to eat something better. You need, and then to get on them or ground them because they're not eating, what we think they should be eating. Um, it puts even more stress on them. Now, I am not advocating that, you let them only eat these things forever and ever. I am advocating that, let them have that, but encourage them, have like something on the side. Encourage them to give it a try. Have that other thing available for them. And what I mean by other thing is like a healthy option, like maybe some veggies of some sort, or some fruit, some cheese, something maybe with a little bit of protein, maybe some nuts or something. Just anything else that you can add alongside of it that maybe they would be interested in eating or get them interested in eating that would be healthy, um, is always a good idea. But I would suggest that if your child is eating this food, the same food over and over and over again, and they are starting to look like um, it's starting to impact their health, I would talk to a doctor about that, um, just to get a little bit of help. I do know that my youngest child, he did have some eating issues, and one of his teacher, well, his Head Start teacher, used to encourage him just to stick his tongue on the foods that he didn't want to eat. She would just have him, you don't have to eat it. Just put your tongue on there. Just give it a taste. Just your tongue. And he did that. And the other kids, cheered him on and stuff like that. And it was a big help. But yeah. So safe foods for us is a real big deal. It is a lifelong deal. Um, because we will always seek out that warm, comforting friends. Now, this is not just a neurodivergent thing because neurotypicals do the same thing as well, at times. Well, everybody does that really. They seek out some sort of comfort sometimes within food. Like it could be ice cream. You have a bad day or had a argument with your significant other or something, and you might go reach in the refrigerator, freezer for half gallon of ice cream and just sit down with a spoon and that type of thing. Food can be comforting in that way, but here's where it differs for neurodivergence is that it's just dependent on many different factors, not just the fact that it's just comforting, but it's it's safe, it's predictable, it's sometimes it's just the texture. It's just the texture that we need. There are days where I just feel like I need something crunchy to eat. I just feel like eating crunchy. Or I may feel like I just need spicy because spicy is what will make me feel good. And spicy is the thing that feels safe and comforting. I If I go to a restaurant, I will not order anything like that. I'm not like, let me explain it this way. Usually when I go to a restaurant, I order the same thing, depending on the restaurant, same thing at each different restaurant. Um, Very rarely will I order something new and interesting off the menu unless I am in that type of mood that day where I'm feeling like really good. I'm walking in the world rightly. I don't know how else to explain that. And something might just catch my eye and I might actually try something new. I did that the other day and actually found something really new, really good. But normally I go to the safe thing because it's predictable for me. It's I know what the texture is going to be like. I know what it's going to taste like. I know that it's going to be safe. Like if I get like a certain kind of texture, I won't eat it. I won't. I can't. It's just wrong. um, and but if I find something, sometimes, very rarely, will I order something different off the menu. But and I generally only go to the same restaurants. I have a hard time going to new restaurants because I don't know what's going to be there. Now, I will say when I visited my daughter, I stayed with her for a month, and that was an interesting thing for me as far as food goes because her fiance cooked pretty much the entire time, and he's an excellent cook. He could be a chef in like a 5-star restaurant. And these were all foods that I was mostly not familiar with. Well, I wasn't. Bulgogi he cooked, and a lot of that, and I have had that before, but only with one other person making it like years ago, and I was really worried. Like, I don't know. I don't. And then there was other dishes too that he made, and they were all just out of my realm of comfort. And but I did eat them. I did try them, and they were all really, really good. So that was an interesting experience for me to just totally just it was scary every time, but it all looked amazing. I mean, it looked like the plates and stuff that he would bring us looked like they'd just come out of like some magazine or 5-star menu type thing because the presentation was all, and I think because it looked so professional looking, I think that it really helped me to be able to want to taste it, to try, because it looked pleasing to the eye. It looked like it might be pleasing in texture and stuff. So, and then a lot of that is in what things look like. I have a child who won't eat certain foods just because of the way they look, not because of how they might taste, how they look. And I do that too. If I think something looks kind of fun, I'm like, no, nope. And there are some people who have what's called ARFID, and I'm not an expert on this. I only know just a little bit of what I've seen, um, and a little bit of what I've learned. It's like a food avoidance type condition where they're very extremely limited on what they will eat. Like it's not just they're looking for safe food. It's like yeah, safe foods, but it's very, very limited, like one or two things. And I do watch a lot of videos from a young man named Torin, and I am really sorry. Don't really remember his last name. I think it's Wolf, I think. But him and his mother do a lot of videos, and he's an amazing young man. I think he just turned 18. I think. And he's autistic and he has this condition ARFID and he eats very little. But I was watching his videos because some of his videos were him tasting new things and what his reaction was. And he would go through what the texture was like, what the taste was like, what the smell was like, what the sight of it was like. And I found those very interesting to watch. And I just and it's I'm stumbling over my words and stuff right now. I find it very interesting, and I'm sure that to him is probably not an interesting condition, but it's wonderful that him and his mom are sharing this with other people because I'm sure there's a lot of other children that have this condition, and it's hard for a parent to watch their child struggle with eating like that. And it's not a matter of him being like, well, I just don't want to eat it. And it's a condition where it's he can't, or he tries and he has succeeded in finding new safe foods and stuff that he could add to his thing that he would eat. And, but there's a lot that he doesn't, but I really enjoy watching them. And he also does videos on autism, and his mom is autistic as well. And it's just they're really if you ever get a chance, go on Facebook and look it up. Torin, I think his last name was Wolf. But I'm sure you could find him just putting Torin down. Toren. Very, very good. Very good. It's very informational too. But I'm rambling again. I also wanted to let everyone know, if you've noticed the intro, I have a intro now, and I did in fact get myself an editing software program, cheap. um, there's like a more expensive versions of this software with like way more bells and whistles and stuff, but I just wanted something plain, and this has a lot of stuff on it anyways, and it's fairly easy to run. So and I already did some cuts and stuff on what I was talking, and I took some things out and polished it up a little bit. So I'm hoping everyone will enjoy that. And also in the future, at some point, I am going to start doing video podcasts. I'm not exactly sure how I go about doing that, but as I learn, I will find out. For right now, I don't think I can do it yet. I think I have to meet some kind of a goal or something through Spotify to be able to do that. I don't know. So once I do know, I'll let you guys know when I'm gonna do one. But I have been interested in actually doing one. So that'll be fun. And in the future, please look for guests. I still have not worked up the courage to ask for a guest, but I will be. I know I keep saying that, but I will be soon. Um, so I very much appreciate everyone stopping by for a chat. Shout out to my followers. I am so glad that you are still sticking with me. Um, give me time and it'll be vastly improving soon. So thank you all for stopping by and have a blessed day. And remember, you matter very much. More later. Bye.